Hello and welcome to Playland Say. So today we just want to cover a game which we covered a while ago called Putrefaction. A game which I purposely have to say slow because if I say putrefaction, I sound like that. So that's why I pause halfway through that. It's a game, if you remember, I generally stuck up for and said that it could potentially have potential. Well, Oleg, the guy making the game, has apparently released a massive update, which we'll put the details on the screen now. So we're going to have a look at this and see, well, what he's done. So we're going to start off with level design, completely changed. The levels become more focused and fun. As we can see, the start of the game had been changed, so all the enemies had been taken out and some mooding was put in. I think that was what the developer was after, and I prefer that start, really. Being thrown straight in and just gunning away might have been what the retro styles have taught us, but we've learned from games since then that, in my opinion, a nice mood setting start, a story setting start to these sort of games does give a bit more feel to them. But as you can see in this, it is very, very short, and once this mooding has been set, you just seem to be thrown into a wave by wave by wave system in the game, which does seem to be very lazy. As quickly as possible. So as we go through this door here, we get sealed in and we just have to kill everything in this room until it's dead, which is fine, you know. Occasionally quickly shut someone in and make them have to defend the area. Would be fine if it seems that every area, the mobs pulling area, line of sight, seems to be infinite. So as soon as you enter a new area, you just have every single mob in that area running at you. And this turns the game just simply into, can you kill them quicker than they can kill you? Because there's no cover-based system, there's nothing like that. It's supposed to be a speed shooter. So I'm sorry on this one, Oleg, I think the design still isn't there. Enter a room, throw a few mobs at me, but then make the decision whether I'm going left or right to be what I'm drawing and the speed of which I'm drawing things. Because I'm sure when you get to the higher levels on this, it's just going to make the game a matter of luck that they're going to miss their shots on you and you're going to hit your, well, you hitting your shots on them is skill, but them missing their shots on you is sometimes down to luck. So when we go through the game, we just have to try and clear each room out, it seems, as quickly as possible. And if you get cornered in a room, or you just sort of slow down and you try and do some investigation before you've killed everything, this is what's going to happen to you. The next area that apparently got worked on was the quick save, quick load system, changed to checkpoint system. So as we found out in the last one, you could load sort of from level to level to level. That worked well, but you couldn't. The auto save key wasn't working essentially, so there's no way of auto saving and auto loading. But as I'm going to show you in this one, the save system now just seems to kill you over and over and over again. And it's not just the quick load system, it's the points that it appears to which it's saving the game, because even if you go back in the menus and try again, then it all happens all over again. And again. And again. So Oleg, I would advise going back to the way it was until you can at least get this system here to work. As it seems funny now, but when you're playing and you've just realised that everything you've done up to that point, and just because you wanted to try to see whether the shotgun secondary fire was any good, that you've now have to go back to the start of the game. The next area that had some work on it was the shotgun. Added secondary fire mode for shotgun, and also shotgun stats has changed. Have changed. Essentially, all they seems to have done here is added a firework to the shotgun. Slightly disappointing, because if something goes psst, you expect it to go bang at the end, but this does seem to go pop. It does seem to be very much influenced by the Chinese firecrackers, which of course if you live in England and you're a child of my age, you would bring back in your shoes from visits to France. It's a nice change. As I said in the previous video, a secondary fire on a few of the other guns would be nicer. 3 bullets to essentially just do a long range attack with a shotgun. I think that's all it's really there for. Just seems, I don't know, I think I want big and silly from these sorts of games. I want the BFG sort of effects, which I'm not sort of getting from the earlier guns in this game, which is fair to say because the BFG was the final gun, but still it just seems a little silly, the shotgun secondary fire. The last 2 bullet points that Oleg made were new enemies were added and some of the old ones changed or removed. Music was added and some sounds were changed. I can't comment too much upon this because the new design of the game made it so horrible to play that I couldn't play this all the way through this time like I did last time. So the only new enemy I came across is this one, which is seems to be the same sort of principle as the last one. It's one that runs at you, but it does seem that when you try and shoot it, it does a side jump roll thing to try and avoid it. So it's an interesting new enemy that they've added. It gives a different aspect to it. It's starting to give the game a bit more of a Killing Floor feel though, than a Doom feel. And music, well, I didn't actually notice there was music until I've rewatched the videos. So nothing horrible in the music, nothing amazing in the music. So all in all, not much I can say on those subjects. Ending notes on the game, things which Oleg didn't mention. I had a big problem with the axe last time. I feel that games that give you a melee option but don't really expect you to use it should either just not bother giving you one or should put some more work into it, and the axe was still absolutely stupidly pathetic in this one. The other game mechanics seemed to be, rather than finding the weapons, they were handed to you as you went through door by door, which again I'm not sure I like. It seems to be going against the principles that you want of exploration in the game being rewarded. And again, the exploration seemed to be very smallly rewarded. You sort of refilled just about what you'd use to get to these rooms. So I feel that a bit more of a risk and reward system could be laid into it as well. So in principle, pacing of the game needs to be the next big concern if you want to get this back on track. For me, it was a step back as for the feeling of the game, and as far as getting immersed in the game, it just wasn't there on that same sort of level. One thing which I did completely forget about was the crouching in the game. If you crouch in the game, it does appear that you can't be seen by the enemies for long range. They'll run up to you and they'll start battering the short range, but the crouching system in this, apart from seemingly planting you into the floor, does seem to be quite broken. But anyway, that's it for all. Putrefaction, not a game I'm going to recommend you rush out and buy, but if what is fixed, I'll let you know. And enjoy the world.